As a student who knows all about the enigmas of runes, Sigrika is here to help us in more ways than one. Ask her anything and she will adorn you with cuteness and rune knowledge. Talk to her about birds because she loves them, and she might even go out to lunch with you. But enough about getting to know Sigrika. It's time to really get to know our orange-haired rune girly by, of course, dissecting her kit and knowing absolutely everything about her. We'll be going over more than just the kit today in this pre-analysis. I'll also be discussing her potential weapons and finally, what her best teams are so you can get really good at her runecraft plays. My name's VoidEnigma, and please, I know Hiyuki and Denia are right around the corner, but I know at least 2, maybe 3 of you are interested in Sigrika, and since it's my obligation to showcase her, we are going to go full throttle with this guide, and you all will see it in the guide depot as well shortly. So let's cut to runing out our rune mistress, Sigrika. Sigrika is a character who specializes in Echo Skill damage. She's an Aero gauntlet user who has a special forte involving the mysterious runes. She has a few highly powerful moves, being her Resonance Liberation and her Forte finisher, which require a bit of setup to actually use. Her Forte finisher, that is. Firstly, Sigrika can gain runes by using her enhanced heavy attack after she has entered Decipher state and actually picked a rune. But what's Decipher state? Well, she enters Decipher state after performing her basic attack 4. A big part of her kit and flow is to use her basic attack 4 multiple times during the whole rotation. During Decipher, her next action generates a specific rune, and when Sigrika has 2 runes, she can cast her enhanced heavy attack to obtain the runes as part of her forte. But what's so special about her runes? Well, Sigrika is capable of 2 different types of runes, Trust and Answer, and each rune is obtained depending on which attack you used during the Decipher state. The Trust rune is gained when she casts her basic attack or dodge counter during the Decipher state. Meanwhile, the Answer rune is gained when she casts her Resonance skill during the Decipher state. Once she has 2 runes ready to be gained, you can cast her enhanced heavy attack to grant you the 2 runes to her forte gauge, essentially granting you 50 full stop, which caps at 100. Full stop is her whole forte gauge, right? After reaching 50 full stop, Sigrika's basic attack chain will start at stage 2 instead of 1, allowing her to reach Decipher faster and, of course, finish out her forte a lot faster. Repeat this process twice, and then you will unlock her enhanced resonance skill. Learn my true name. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. For now, we're done with the mundane and long way of attaining runes and powering up her forte, but there's a much faster way to do so. And this is by utilizing 2 mechanics in her kit, Divergent and Convergent state. This greatly speeds up the process of gaining runes. These 2 states are buffs that are gained by a certain method each. Divergent is gained by casting her Resonance Liberation, and Convergent is gained by casting her intro skill. Convergent takes priority over Divergent, but if both are gained, Convergent will trigger first. Divergent grants Sigrika an opposite additional rune when she actually obtains a rune, while Convergence grants her an additional same type of rune instead. With that in mind, she is quickly able to stack her runes and fill her forte to max by using these 2 states. When Sigrika's forte is max, she is able to cast her forte finisher that we talked about earlier, Learn My True Name, to deal significant echo damage. Now let's talk about her ideal rotation. Since Sigrika wants both Divergent and Convergent to fill her forte quickly, an easy way of doing so without any fancy quick swaps is to use your other characters first, and when you actually intro skill into Sigrika, which will grant her the Convergence buff, and then you'll actually use her Resonance Liberation to get the Divergent buff. Now with Convergent and Divergent gained, you'll use the Convergent buff first. So you'll continue to use her basic attack 4, gaining Decipher, then you'll use either a basic attack and dodge counter to get a Trust rune, and then you use the Resonance skill to gain an Answer rune. You'll then follow up with her enhanced heavy attack in order to gain 2 of the same runes. This will fill her forte by half with 50 full stop and consume Convergence. So now that we have used the Convergence, we have to use Divergence. which means you're going to be doing the exact same combo. Basic attack 4, gain Decipher once more, pick your desired rune, and then use her enhanced heavy attack to fill up your entire Forte, and this time you'll get the rune that you chose along with the opposite rune. This will generate 100 full stock, completely filling out her Forte and allowing her to cast her finisher, her enhanced resonance skill, completing her rotation. People who like quick swap, or if Sigrika's rotation actually takes too long when she comes live, we don't know yet, will simply alter the rotation by actually starting combat with immediately using her Resonance Liberation to use her Divergence, following up with her little gimmick, basic attack 4, gain a rune, heavy attack, and then actually swap. And this will half fill her Forte, so that when she comes in, she doesn't have to do too much, so she retains all the buffs when she's ready to use her finisher. A complicated but actual simple character to use with a few subtle ways to use her, but let's actually talk about the fun part of her kit. When Sigrika casts her outro skill, she deals huge arrow damage and gains 2 stacks of Encapsulated. When teammates cast an Echo skill, 1 stack of Encapsulated is consumed and you actually stagnate the nearby enemies. So you could easily stagnate bosses 2 times when Sigrika's not even on the field by using her teammates. Pretty nice, huh? So Sigrika is looking like a capable Echo carry, and her kit is pretty expansive but easy to actually put into practice. Let's further learn about this student by discussing her weapon options. With Sigrika's kit revealed, her weapon got revealed as well. Let me tell you, as an Echo skill user similar to Forlova, the lack of weapons is evident, so this signature, Solsworn Ciphers, does not disappoint. 32% Echo damage amp and ignoring 10% of enemy defense? Wait. Did we just power creep the defense ignore allowed on weapons from 8% to 10%? Crazy concept, right? Nonetheless, this weapon is bonkers, and I mean absolutely bonkers, like crazy. No other weapon will actually come close to this power for Sigrika. Due to its unique passive, it's similar to Forlova's signature weapon with how crazy that is for her, and no other weapon even comes close. So, how do other weapons stack up to it? Poorly, that's what. But if you can't afford it or choose not to get it, you should definitely get it. You can actually just use any other 5-star signature weapon with crit on it that's lying around in your inventory. But of course, Zandi's signature Blazing Justice stands above the rest. Why? Because it gives a spicy 8% defense ignore simply by casting a basic attack, and how many times have I said basic attack 4 in this video, right? The crit damage is actually acceptable at 48%, and it also gives a very solid 12% attack of the passive, and the base attack is actually at 587, meaning it's quite passable. If you lack Zandi's weapon, then go with the original plan of any 5-star weapon that has crit that you happen to have laying down. Other than that, Abyss Surges is a decent placeholder, granting some much needed energy regen, but it will certainly be far behind the signature weapon, or any other weapon for that matter, especially her signature weapon. Sigrika is undeniably a character who needs her signature, so do not leave it out. Now that we've got Sigrika geared up and her kit explained, she could finally go on to her classes, but there's one more thing in her agenda, and that's her teammates. Echo skill users are always the funnest users to talk about because they're kinda like, all centered around Qiuyuan. Oh, whoops, didn't mean to spoil her best partner. Honestly, when I picked up Qiuyuan on a whim and week after week I saw his stocks going way up week after week, Forlova's best partner, Galbrenna's best partner, and now Sigrika's best partner, this man is seriously rising in stocks and he's becoming the undeniable best Echo skill partner. Qiuyuan has so many buffs for Echo skill users, it is insane, and his outro amps Echo skill damage by 50%, and that's nothing to scoff at. He single-handedly makes Sigrika viable, even without her signature weapon, so I would consider him about equal priority to Sigrika's signature, although I would definitely go for the signature over him, simply because the weapon's way easier to get. Our next candidate for best partner is Forlova, or at least if you have Cantarella. In other words, don't use Forlova by herself, because Forlova does fit in any Echo skill team, but Sigrika herself does a lot of Echo skill damage, but I didn't see one notation about any of these being considered as casting an Echo skill. But if we add Cantarella to the team, who casts about 3 to 4 Echo skills easily by herself, then this team becomes very viable. I can imagine the rotation to be pretty tight, but this team can work very nicely together, with a bit of quick swap being required since Frolova, Sigrika, and Cantarella all needing some decent field time. But an even better duo instead of a trio is actually Ciaccona. Never mind, this is another trio because we'll be using Aero Rover with her. Rather than buffing her Echo skill damage, you could simply just buff her Aero damage output, and it's actually kind of phenomenal considering that Aero Rover has his sword, which grants 26% Aero damage amplification, literally adding a 25% to her full damage. This alone brings Sigrika over the edge of being viable without even needing another Echo skill buffer. For the third party slide, you can always bet on Shorekeeper. You can use Mornier as a backup since she is very slightly a Tomb Break character. Her team options may open up in the future as more and more characters are released, but for now, this is all that we've got to go on. I'll actually be making another video to further discuss her team options, and that's going to be released shortly after this one. Is Sigrika cute as hell? Yes. Is her kit flashy and unique? Yes. Is she another Echo skill user like Brenna and Frolova? Yes. Will she fit on your account if you actually want her? Yes. Now remember that I make these guides to give you an informed decision about how viable a future character is and how they work, but I must tell you, Sigrika is not a character I would recommend you poke for. You see, she's quite average compared to the other DPSs. In other words, she's just as powerful as any other DPS, but her team options are kinda limited currently. I'm also worried about her basic attack 4 combo being required multiple times throughout her kit, and landing that basic attack 4 may be difficult against quick and very mobile bosses. Additionally, she kinda requires both Qiuyuan and her signature weapon, and to get the most out of her, you're definitely going to need both, and at least you have to get the signature weapon. But then again, the Aero team with Ciaccona has even helped Qiuyuan stay alive, so maybe Sigrika will be fine there. Nonetheless, if you're interested in her and are willing to aid in everything that she needs, pull her, I won't stop you, but be warned, Sigrika is a girl who needs to be pampered, so pamper her. Either way, she'll be a phenomenal character in the right hands, and as long as you're willing to actually learn her kit, like every other character in Wuthering Waves, they will work. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and thank you so much for watching. I have Sigrika team discussion videos coming up shortly, so stay tuned. This has been VoidEnigma, out.